how perfect things are really unappealing. If something is uniform and perfect, it doesn't encourage you to participate in it because you'll have a very human anxiety that you'll mess it up.
When I saw this video, it suddenly clicked for me why some high-end plating is beautiful but almost off-putting, while others are both aesthetically pleasing and incredibly inviting. Okay, let's just start with this plate. This was the cover image of a New York Times article a few years ago, and I've seen it referenced many times since then as an example of really good plating. And technique-wise, I totally agree. It's balanced, colorful, has proper use of white space, different texture, moves your eye around the plate, etc. I really like looking at it, but I don't necessarily want to eat it, which I think harkens back to that anxiety this creator was talking about. When something's so perfect, it feels foreign. There's also no room for interpretation. There's no room for me to have a personal experience with this dish. It's already so formulaic. But eating is a messy and visceral human experience. Of course, everyone's preferences are different, but I have noticed what seems a pretty marked shift towards more natural looking, kind of fluid plating in the last decade or so. More organic textures and shapes that's evocative of what you're eating rather than distanced or removed from it. I think they call to you precisely because they are imperfect. They feel rooted in the world around us, and you're being invited to be part of that. I think the fashion parallel to this would be what that creator called the power of suggestion.
Suggestion. So not to be too obvious, but to practice some sort of restraint and forms that suggest things rather than reveal things.
Just like how style can spark the imagination, well-executed plating can too. And not just of what the dish will taste like, but the whole experience of how you might feel once you take a bite. So even though dishes like this and this are also incredibly detailed and probably took some tweezers to plate, I just find that they have a different feeling to them. It reminds me a lot of how this study on food advertising found that describing food, in this case popcorn, with only taste attributes, so saying it's salty or buttery, etc., were far less effective than ads that describe the holistic experience of eating the popcorn. So setting the scene with the smell of the butter, the sound of the kernels popping, the hot temperature of the popcorn on your fingers, the anticipation of the movie starting, etc. All of this to say, when it comes to food, I think as humans want something to be engrossed in. Something that not just encompasses our senses, but stimulates us mentally and emotionally. I know that can sound a bit grandiose for something like plating, but ultimately, isn't that what all art is? We don't just eat with our eyes, we eat with our hearts. And at least for me, I know I'm looking for realness, for meaning, not something that feels so rigid and controlled, so crisp and textbook. Anyway, that was my guttural response. I love to hear what you all think, and please do drop some of your favorite plating in the comments.